the lead, I think, with 2K to go. And Anna and Misha, they are just so amazing because they kept on going and I could stay calm, and it was really the perfect lead out.
Welcome to stage 4 of La Vuelta Femenina. Femke Gerritsen took control of the race yesterday with a fantastic sprint, but the GC picture is set for another shake-up on this 4th stage. It's certainly an unpredictable one. 2 climbs on the menu, including one that tops out with just 12.5 kilometres to go before a downhill sweep to the finish line. Is it going to be a day for the breakaway, or will the overall favourites be laying down the law? I don't think the breakaway will make it to the finish today, but I also don't think that it's a stage for the GC riders. I think it's going to come down to a reduced group of fast riders. Nearly 112 kilometres today between Pedrola and Borja as we continue to sweep our way west across northern Spain. There's also a chance of more echelons in the final, so we can expect a nervous peloton. And if the pace is high on the Puerto de El Buste, it's likely to be a small group contesting the win. Well, there were attacks left, right and centre once the flag dropped, but the consequence of that was that after 50 kilometres of racing, when the TV cameras started rolling, there was still no breakaway. The peloton just embarking on the day's first climb, the Alto de Moncayo, 5.5k at 5.5%, which would start to thin out this bunch. Liv Alula-Jayco and Lidl Trek on the front of the peloton, just setting a steady tempo. Well, there were 5 non-starters this morning, meaning there are now 137 riders in this Vuelta Femenina, currently being led by Gerritsen, just staying safely on the wheel of her leader Anna van der Breggen in the bunch. 1.8 kilometres from the summit, Erika Magnaldi made a move. The UAE Team ADQ rider began the day a minute and 40 seconds down, and she was perhaps thinking of targeting the mountains jersey. But she wasn't allowed to go far, quickly reeled back in by the other GC teams. And in the end, it was Justine Hekiere of AG Insurance Sudal who snaffled the 10 points at the summit as she became the virtual queen of the mountains. Well, they all came back together again on the descent, with the GC favourites up towards the front as they continued to set a high tempo. We've seen plenty of Kristin Faulkner already this week, and the Olympic and American champion was soon back on the front for EF Education Oatly. The average pace is still pretty high, but no moves off the fronts. Well, the intermediate sprints have been lively so far this week, and today was no exception. The Dutch trio of Gerritsen, Marianne Vos and Demi Vollering all eyeing up the bonus seconds.
Well, here comes Vos with a run. Who's going to be able to time that one? I think Vos. Oh, that was very close. Got to go to the photograph. Well, she's shaking her head. I think that was an indication that she didn't quite get there in time.
Gerritsen slightly increasing her lead, and it was interesting to see Vollering up there. The defending champion began the day 23 seconds down, but where would she finish it? The peloton still tightly packed together as they approached the decisive final climb, and on the lower slopes of the Puerto de El Buste, FDJ Suez took control with Ali Wollaston and Juliette Labousse pacing for Vollering. The pace proving too much for the non-climbers like Ellen van Dijk, our first race leader. Movistar and Visma Lease bike also shifting up towards the front as the road continued to rise. Well, Movistar's Liana Lippert doing some real damage as she took over at the front, reducing the peloton to a group of favourites. Evita Music leading Vollering over the summit, and the Dutch woman even tried to attack on the descent, but she couldn't get a gap. 17 riders now in this front group with Vollering, including Vos, Van der Breggen, Nuevia Doma, Reusser, Garcia, Royackers and Kerbayol. A bit further back, a chase group had formed with Pauline Ferrand-Prévot and Gerritsen, who was fighting to keep hold of her red jersey. It looked for all the world like we were heading for a reduced bunch sprint, but Van der Breggen had other ideas. The former time trial world champion leaving the rest of the front group in her dust as she raced her way into Borja. The rest of the group chasing furiously, but Van der Breggen isn't an easy woman to catch when she sets her mind to it, and she still had a decent gap heading into the final kilometre.
A beautifully timed, opportunistic move and wonderfully executed effort here from Anna van der Breggen. She's going to go into it with the stage honours. Van der Breggen of the SD Works squad. Second successive victory for the all-conquering Dutch registered team. And it is the Netherlands, Anna van der Breggen, who raises her arms aloft for the first time this year. She takes the victory.
Van der Breggen came out of retirement at the start of 2025 after 3 years away from the professional peloton, and today she sent out a clear message to her rivals: I'm back. The 35-year-old taking her first win since July 2021 when she conquered the Giro, and it'll be fascinating to see how she gets on in the mountains.
I did not expect this at all. It was also not the plan, but yeah, we were with a small group in the downhill, and at that point I was alone, and yeah, I don't know, the speed was out and I saw a good moment, so I went, and I did not expect to arrive solo, but it's yeah, it feels really nice.
Van der Breggen taking her 63rd career win by 12 seconds, with Vos leading in the chases and no doubt ruining a missed opportunity. Gerritsen managed to get back to that group, with Ferrand-Prévot coming in at 26 seconds. It's now an SD Works 1-2 atop the GC, with Gerritsen still in red and leading her teammate Van der Breggen by 4 seconds. Vos is third at 10 seconds, with Follering at 21. Well, Vos was second today, so she extends her lead in green. The Dutch legend is 38 points clear of her compatriot Gerritsen. We also have a new Queen of the Mountains in Evita Music. The former French champion is now leading the way on 20 points. And speaking of the mountains, tomorrow will see us hit the heights with a summit finish on Lagunas de Nela. It promises a superb GC battle, so do join us again on Thursday, and thanks for watching.